What is the difference between the Epson EcoTank 4850 and the Epson EcoTank 5180? Well, stay tuned because today we're going to find out. Hey YouTube, what is going on? Brandon here with another printer video, and today I wanted to talk to you about the differences between the Epson EcoTank 4850 and the Epson EcoTank 5180. Now, it is commonly known that there is an Epson EcoTank lineup that goes from the Epson EcoTank 2750. From there you hop up to the 3750, and then you have the 4750 or 4850. But what is the model above the 4850? And it is the Epson EcoTank 5180. It has all the capability of all those previous printers, and then you're gonna have some extra features. So what are those extra features that you're getting and you're paying for? Because of course the Epson EcoTank 5180 has a higher price tag than the 4850. So I hope that this video ends up being helpful. If it is helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. This is actually my first video of 2023, so I'm really excited. We're sitting at roughly about 37,000 subscribers. So you subscribing really is a big deal, and it means a lot. It just represents the growth of this channel. Now, a quick word from today's sponsor. If your current printer is printing blank pages, printing choppy prints, or not printing a certain color, you're really gonna wanna look into purchasing the Best Printers Cleaning Kit. This is a product that I sell, that I have produced, and there are a ton of videos on my channel showing you how to use this product on various different printer models. It works with 90% of the inkjet and DeskJet printers out there, and so instead of having to buy a new printer or having to send it off to a technician to be repaired, you can pay the low cost of this cleaning kit and do it yourself. There are instructions on the back of the packaging. There are instructions on this YouTube channel that you can get so that you can do this yourself very inexpensively and get back up and running in no time. There's going to be a link down in the description below for this product. You can pause this video, go down there, click on that link, and get it for yourself if you do need it, and then come back and watch the rest of this video. Alright, so why don't we get right into the meat of the video. And what I really like to use when I'm comparing two printers is the spec sheet. So right here what we have is the spec sheet for the Epson EcoTank 4850. And we also have the spec sheet for the Epson EcoTank 5180. We're going to be going back and forth between these two. So I am going to be actually linking the spec sheets down below, because if there's any other information you would need on any one of these printers, you can just click on that link, go to the spec sheet, and you have all the information about these printers that you could possibly want. The spec sheet, it's not always totally inclusive. There's some information sometimes missing, but this is the most reliable source where you can find all of the information about the printer in one place instead of having to scroll different websites. That really is a method that is kind of frustrating, so I like to have this. I even will print out the spec sheets, and it looks something like this. There's a ton of information. It is reliable, and it is what is going to tell us the differences. Now, the differences between these printers are not big, but there are nevertheless differences. Now, if you were looking to buy an Epson EcoTank 4850 or an Epson EcoTank 5180 after you watch this video, there's going to be a link for each one of those printers down in the description below. You using those links, you purchasing through those links, is a great support to this channel and is greatly appreciated. By the way, if you wanted to go above and beyond and support past liking, commenting, and subscribing, you can always leave a super thanks donation. You can leave anywhere from $1 all the way to as much as you would like. It's above and beyond, but it's always greatly appreciated. All right, so when we take a look at the 4850, I really want to get into these differences quickly. So when we take a look at our max print resolution, we have 4800 by 1200. And you see here that we're working on the 4850 spec sheet. We're going to switch over to the 5180 spec sheet. And when we look at the 5180's max printing resolution, it's the exact same. So I really wanted to get that out of the way because you do have the same max printing resolution, which is a very important aspect to printing. That is what is the highest quality this printer can produce. Now, your printing technology is also very important. You have a 4-color all pigment 4-in-1 print technology, which is basically what the print head is. It describes what that is. But on the 4850, you actually have a drop-on-demand micro piezo inkjet technology. Print speeds. The print speed on the Epson EcoTank 4850 is 15.5 ISO pages per minute black and 8.5 ISO pages per minute color. When we come over to the 5180, print speed is 17 pages per minute with black and 9.5 pages per minute with color. So you have a difference between those two of 1.5 pages per minute with black and 1 extra page per minute with color. So that is one of our major differences, is the printing speed, and even the auto two-sided print speed is fast. On the 4850, it's 6.5 in black and 4.5 in color. You come over to the 5180 and it's 7.5 in black and 5 in color. So overall, you have faster regular and faster two-sided printing with the 5180. That's going to be our very first difference between these two. Now you can take a look at mobile connectivity. One thing that I did notice that the 4850 spec sheet does not include is it does not include voice activated, or rather voice activation. This section here that says Siri, Google Assistant, Epson Connect, Amazon Alexa. Now this could be one of those things where, you know, the spec sheet is imperfect, because I do believe you are able to connect the 4850 to these devices as well. So they're just missing that information, but that's another difference on the spec sheet itself. Copy speed. With these two, your copy speed is going to be faster on the 5180. You're getting 12 copies per minute black, 6 copies per minute color, and when you come to the 4850, you're getting a little bit less. You're getting -1 on the black and -0.5 on the color. So here's one difference that is in favor of the 4850. When you look at the 4850 and we look at the max hardware resolution, you have 2400 DPI. And when you come over to the 5180, you actually only have 1200 DPI. So you have double the max hardware resolution on the scanner. Now, does that make a big difference when you're scanning? It might make a small difference, but that's not the biggest part. The biggest aspect of printing is how fast does it print, what is the quality when it prints. Now we'll take a quick break and talk about just the overall aspect of each of these printers. So just essentially, when we're looking at these printers, how do they look? What are the different specs before we continue on with the spec sheet? And one of the biggest differences is the design between the 4850 and the 5180. When you look at the 5180, you have more of a laser jet type of design. They both have touchscreens. They're about the same size. But you see here, like a lot of the LaserJets, if you're familiar with the LaserJet printers, the HPs, the Canon, and even the older Lexmark LaserJet printers, they look a lot like this, where you have a big space in the middle, and then you have the top of the printer at the top, and then the paper trays and everything at the bottom. And the roller system, I would say, works a lot like a LaserJet printer. Now, you come back to the 4850, and you see something that looks more like a regular type of printer that you just would normally have in a household. So the 5180 definitely is going to be for someone that is doing a lot more of a printing load, maybe in an office environment. Now remember, you can connect multiple devices to either one of these printers. So next we're going to actually take a look at the types of paper that each one of these printers can handle. Now this is the 5180. It says that it can handle cardstock. Now you can look at the rest of the types of paper that the 5180 uses, and the same with the 4850. Now this one doesn't say cardstock on it under paper types, and so that leads me to believe that because the 4850 actually doesn't have a back paper tray at all, you're not able to do cardstock on the 4850. On the 5180 you are, because you do actually have a back paper tray. It even says here in the spec sheet you can use cardstock in rear feed only. So you can do one at a time, maybe up to 2 at a time at the most. Now I have reviewed both of these printers, so if you want to watch a separate in-depth review video on either one of these, I'll link that also down in the description below for your convenience. I also did a print quality test, so once you get into that main video, you'll be able to have access in the description of that video of all the other videos that I did. The ink installation, even if you needed to repair the printer, I show you how to do everything all in one place. So that's another big difference. You have the rear feeder on the 5180 that the 4850 doesn't have, and you have that ability to do cardstock. All right, so aside from that, everything else is pretty much the same. When you look at the warranty, you have a similar warranty on both of these. When you look at power consumption, you have a lot of the same power consumption. And each one of these printers has a maintenance box that needs to be swapped out whenever you're prompted to on the screen. That will happen at some point. Of course, they both have touch screens. They both are bottled, of course, because they're Epson EcoTank bottled ink versus ink cartridges. And when it comes to the yield of the actual ink, you're printing higher volume on one of them, right? You're using one for more printing. They're actually going to have the same volume of printing. So the same amount of ink that you put into those tanks is going to be roughly the same for both of those printers. All right, so those are the main differences. That's what you're paying more for. Now you can check the prices of each one of these printers, again, through the links that I have provided down below. You can take a look and see that the Epson EcoTank 5180 is usually going to be a lot more expensive than the 4850. Now, why did I compare the 4850 and not the 3850 or the 27 or the 2850? Well, that's because the 4850 is the highest model. I would say that they're kind of in the same ballpark of the type of printer that it is. Now, the 5180 is like definitely a step above because it has a lot more capacity. But if you wanted to move up, if you needed a printer that was had more capability than the 4850, you would very obviously, your next step would be to move up to the Epson EcoTank 5180. So the Epson EcoTank 5180 is a very, very good upgrade to make. Now, if you're in one of the lower models like the 2850 and you're looking to upgrade, maybe the 4850 is probably the best option for you when it comes to upgrading. And so let's just review really quick what the differences are between these two printers. So the 5180 is going to have faster printing speed. Regular one-sided and two-sided printing will be faster. You have a faster copying speed. You have a difference, actually, that's a plus for the 4850 of a higher max hardware resolution of 2400 versus the 1200 on the 5180. The 5180 can do cardstock and has a rear paper tray that the 4850 does not have. And those are the main differences. There's going to be other tiny differences, not really worth mentioning in different areas on this spec sheet. And that's why I left those links. You can do that homework on your own if you wanted to go in depth and wanted. There's always inevitably something that someone that's watching this video will want to know that I don't cover because I'm covering a general aspect of the spec sheet. You might want to know what's the exact power usage when the 5180 is in sleep mode. And I could tell you right now that it's 0.9 watts when it's in sleep mode. Now when it's being used, it's 12 watts, and that's both of them are the same. So I'll save you the trouble for the maybe 1% of people that wanted that information. Now both of these printers have maintenance boxes, and another big difference I would say is that the Epson EcoTank 5180 has a LaserJet printer style. So it looks like a LaserJet printer. Maybe it's important how the printer looks in an office setting. You want the printer to look like it can handle a lot more capacity. So I hope that this video ended up being helpful for you. Hopefully it was. Hopefully you seeing the differences and me pointing out the differences between these two printers was able to help you in one way or another, whether you're buying or you're doing something else with these two printers. Both of these printers are great. As I said, I reviewed both of these printers in the past, and I really do like them, but I do favor the 5180. I really do like that model. It's just a better printer overall. And if you want the cutting edge, you of course can go higher, but we're talking about these price ranges that we're in, and you can always check prices through the links. This 5180 is the top of its class. So again, if this video was helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. But that's really all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.